E.N.D here, day 5 for the spoilers of Duskmourn House of Horror. Leave me a comment, what is your opinion regarding this new enchantment room? I believe they can become quite popular as much as sagas. Anyway, let's start. And let's start with the most important cards, the mythic cards. The Roller Crusher Ride, X2 and 1 red, legendary enchantment, Delirium. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player while there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, it deals double that damage instead. When it enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to each of up to X target creatures. Marina Vendrell's Grimoire, 5 and 1 blue, legendary artifacts, enters the battlefield. If you cast it, draw 5 cards. You have no maximum hand size and don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. Whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. Whenever you lose life, discard that many cards. Then, if you have no cards in hand, you lose the game. Silent Hall Creeper, 1 and 1 blue, 1/1, can't be blocked. When it deals combat damage to a player, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, draw a card, it becomes a copy of another target creature you control. Unstoppable Slasher, this is crazy, 2 and 1 black, 2/3 with that touch. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, they lose half their life, rounded up. When it dies, if it had no counters on it, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with 2 stun counters on it. Leyline of Mutation, 2 and 2 green, enchantment. If it's in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. You may pay 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black, 1 red, 1 green, rather than pay the mana cost for spells that you cast. Orphans of the Weak, for 1 and 1 white, 2/1. Whenever it attacks, tap any number of untapped creatures you control. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature tapped this way. Commune with Evil, 2 and 1 black sorcery. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard, you gain 3 life. Cynical Loner, for 1 and 1 black, 3/1, can be blocked by Glimmers. Survival, at the beginning of your second man phase. If it is tapped, you may search your library for a card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. Descent Bloodsucker, for 3 and 1 black, 2/5 with Airy. Whenever enchantment control enters the battlefield and whenever you fully unlock a room, it gets +2/+0 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Popular Egotist, for 2 and 1 black, 3/2. For 1 and 1 black, sacrifice another creature or enchantment. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Fear of Burning Alive, 4 and 2 red, 4/4. Enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to each opponent. Delirium, whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, it deals that amount of damage to target creature that player controls. Fear of Infinity, for 1 blue and 1 black, 2/2, flying lifelink, it cannot block. Airy, whenever an enchantment you control enters the battlefield and whenever you fully unlock a room, you may return it from your graveyard to your hand. Shroud Solitaire, for 1 green and 1 white, 3/3, survival. At the beginning of your second man phase, if it is tapped, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Attack in the Box, 3 generic mana, 2/4. Whenever it attacks, you may have it get +4/+0 until end of turn. If you do, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Haunted Scream, 3 generic mana, artifact. Tap, add 1 white or black mana. Tap, pay 1 life, add 1 green, blue or red mana. 7. Put 7 +1/+1 counters on it. It becomes a 0/0 spirit creature in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery. So, 2 generic mana, artifact equipment, equip creature get +2/+0. Whenever equip creature attacks, you may sacrifice a permanent other than the creature or so. If you do, draw a card, equip for 2. Emerge from the Cocoon, 4 and 1 white, sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain 3 life. Unsettling Twins, for 3 and 1 white, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, manifest dread. Tunnel Surveyor, for 2 and 1 blue, 2/2. Enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white glimmer enchantment creature token. Final Vengeance, for 1 black mana, sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature or enchantment. Exile target creature. Grab the Prize, for 1 and 1 red, sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards. If the discarded card wasn't a land, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Weary Watchdog, for 1 and 1 green, 3/1. When it enters the battlefield or dies, surveil 1. Anthropede, for 3 and 1 green, 3/4, reach. Enters the battlefield, you may discard a card or pay 2. When you do, destroy target room. So that was the last card in this particular day 5 for the spoilers of Duskmourn House of Horror. Join me again tomorrow because we're going to have more and more spoilers regarding this terrifying set. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.